It seems that's not simply frustration, that's rage barely held back. Aliyah Boston being pushed to the boundary after her prior clash with Alyssa Thomas at Unrivaled, and her posture reveals all that you really need to grasp. This wasn't a typical court move gone awry. This was very personal. And what makes this occurrence even more crucial is its timing, because appearing like UFC fighters in an empty training room, the whole 2025 WNBA season is at risk over a contractual disagreement that's getting nastier daily. It shows. Now, what truly makes Alyssa Thomas's predicament so troubling is this. This isn't a newcomer losing her temper in an unimportant contest. Thomas remains a steady MVP contender, a primary figure for the league, and equating her to Draymond Green isn't simply casting aspersions. It poses a valid inquiry regarding what the WNBA truly offers to its fans. Since when your top players are known, especially at this moment as the organization gravely requires public backing through these contract discussions. Just check out the statistics from that incomparable match. Boston amassed 23 points, 6 boards, 2 thefts, 2 swats, hitting 9 of 16 shots from the floor. Kelsey Mitchell delivered, hitting 64%. These are WNBA stars delivering excellent basketball. Yet, what's the big news? The brawl? The push? The spectacle? Just like the WNBA regular season, and this is where Boston's track record matters in the bigger discussion. WNBA's Rookie of the Year, first-team All-American 3 times at South Carolina, Nev Smith, Annual Player of the Year, a 4-time Lisa Leslie Award recipient, Dwayne Accolade, SEC. We're talking about truly premier athletic skill, that type of player the league forms itself around. The kind of athlete who ought to be getting set for the 2025 season. However, a 2025 season might not even happen. For, as Unrivaled delivers competitive basketball along with WWE-style dramatic elements to its dropping audience, the actual WNBA is currently mired in a CBA negotiations deadlock, which now seriously threatens to cancel the whole upcoming year. And this is where the situation complicates. Since 2 of the individuals, the negotiating committee includes Nafissa Collier and Brianna Stewart, co-founders of Unrivaled, the very league poised to benefit greatly if the WNBA season gets locked out.
Because just like I said, I feel like the 16% stake could be what's hurting them from getting the deal done. Let's check out some of their coverage right now. From Alexa Philippou. So Alexa Philippou is pretty much spilling the beans, man. She stated the WNBA is exploring buying back the 16% stake they sold off in the 2022 capital raise. She stated, "I'm told that the WNBA is reviewing the league's capital structure, is standard operating procedures. Nothing is imminent or concrete. I likely be very expensive if investors even wanted to sell it back." Okay, now here's my theory. Why they trying to buy this back? My theory is because whenever they sold this thing to those investors, right?
Let's talk about what's really being offered because the players' language has been out of control. The league proposed an agreement that includes a max salary over $1 million. Let me rephrase that once more. Above $1 million every single year. And profit sharing, connected directly to how the league performs. The Players Association characterized this as a slap to the face. Such a phrase, $1 million income, feels insulting. Now, juxtapose that with what's true. Caitlin Clark, the biggest attraction in women's basketball history, takes home about $76,000 on her rookie deal. Angel Reese, a different enormous rookie talent, a comparable figure. These athletes filled up venues, overwhelmed streaming sites, created unmatched earnings, and they are taking home under $80,000. So, when veteran athletes label a $1 million+ proposal insulting, what impact do you imagine that has on supporters? What impression do you believe that leaves on casual viewers who just found the WNBA? Thanks to Clark, these athletes, worlds apart, they seek to cap bound to gross income rather than net income. That fundamentally shifts their business approach. They advocate for a settlement similar to an NBA arrangement in a league that, despite unparalleled expansion in 2024, remains unprofitable as per most financial And this is exactly the point Rebecca Lobo was making. She isn't just any ordinary analyst, she is a WNBA icon, a Hall of Fame inductee, an individual covering this league for years at ESPN. And even her voice suggests players are forfeiting public backing through their communication. After concluding a landmark season with peak viewership, full arenas, authentic mainstream traction, if your reaction to $1 million deal is to label it insulting, you compel casual supporters to choose a stance. And many of them are not aligning with yours. Lobo particularly identified the language used as problematic. She stated, when athletes employ phrases such as slap in the face for seven-figure proposals and profit distribution, they jeopardize estranging the very supporters who recently began paying heed. And she is right, because the visuals are awful. But here's the drastic move that's emerged. Kathy Engelbert and the WNBA are currently considering repurchasing the 16% share they sold to external funders during a 2022 fundraising effort. And if you're curious why they'd pursue this, consider the reasoning. Those investors gain partial ownership of the league, owners gain a voice in key business choices, and based on some assessment, these funders could be the actual impediment preventing a CBA agreement because they aim to safeguard their capital and guarantee the league stays financially secure before approving huge pay raises. If that's valid, if external funders are the hindrance, then Engelbert repurchasing that share eliminates the impediment. However, here's the issue. It would be immensely costly. These funders acquired holdings just ahead of the Caitlin Clark boom prior to record viewership before expansion craze. Their 16% share is valued significantly more now than it was back in 2020. Thus, buying them out entails a substantial bonus, funds the league may lack, which is precisely why they divested the share originally. But as all this unfolds in private, what are fans seeing?
They're seeing unrivaled games with declining viewership despite wall-to-wall promotion.
We're noticing players sporting what is owed us, finances from a league that has just begun to make money in certain markets. People are seeing fights, aggressive fouls, and drama, not basketball. True excellence. Spectators are observing key players on the bargaining panel with a clear monetary stake in the WNBA season's cancellation as it pushes athletes towards their rival league. The difference from the previous season is stark. From April to September of 2024, the WNBA dominated attention, Caitlin Clark against Angel Reese. Playoff battles, historic crowds, the Indiana Fever transforming from the league's weakest to a playoff hopeful. Authentic athletic narratives that went beyond women's hoops and entered general discussion. Leap ahead to February 2025 with its CBA conflict, strike warnings, and unmatched disputes. This is what renders this whole scenario so uncertain. The WNBA had just experienced its pivotal moment, a truly indisputable widespread breakthrough. Caitlin Clark introduced millions of fresh supporters to the league, not individuals already backing women's hoops, but true everyday sports enthusiasts who hadn't seen a WNBA match prior to June 20th. That represents the prime chance. What every specialized league hopes for, the prospect of turning casual curiosity into lasting devotion, yet transforming casual supporters demands reliability. It necessitates fulfilling the experience they found. And presently, the league is poised to deliver nothing since a 2025 season might not happen at all. Each day the CBA discussions continue slowly. More of those occasional followers grow disengaged. They shift focus to the NFL draft, to March Madness, to MLB spring camps. The opportunity shrinks, and the players' communication isn't assisting. When Nafisa Collier makes media showings and states things such as, "I understand how to finalize agreements," it appears conceded to those not tracking the league intently. When athletes together decline $1 million maximum deal as inadequate, it seems self-serving to supporters earning $40,000 or $50,000 annually from their employment. Just or not, that's how it's perceived. And in a fan-driven industry such as professional athletics, public image holds more sway than truth. Rebecca Lobo grasps this, having experienced the WNBA's initial era when the organization battled for its existence. She comprehends the delicate nature of fan backing, particularly with an infrequent viewership. Her caution regarding athletes forfeiting public favor isn't born from animosity toward player autonomy. It originates from someone who has observed this league's difficulties for 25 years and eventually witnessed its breakthrough, and now sees that surge possibly vanish due to a contract disagreement that most supporters neither grasp nor specifically mind. Consider it from an occasional supporter's viewpoint. You found Caitlin Clark during March Madness. You viewed her WNBA first game. you became engrossed in the Fever's playoff quest. You witnessed the competition with Angel Reese unfold. You encountered authentic athletic excitement that seemed natural and captivating. Now, half a year on, you're informed there may be no season because players earning six figures insist on seven and deem anything inferior as insulting. What is your response to that? Do you support the athletes or do you simply move on? This serves as a perfect symbol of the issue. Here's a top player, a past Rookie of the Year, someone with a record full of honors, playing in a half-empty gym in a new league that exists primarily because WNBA salaries are insufficient. And rather than displaying her skills, instead of showing why she deserves more pay, she's getting into physical fights with Alyssa Thomas, another star known more for her grit than her output. The broadcast then spotlights the battle, the theatrics, the dispute, as that draws attention. That's what becomes popular. Yet does that develop the league for the future? Does that make casual observers loyal fans? Or does it affirm all bad stereotypes about women's basketball lagging behind the men's sport? The collective bargaining talks involve more than mere funds. They concern profit-sharing frameworks, salary limit mechanisms, free agent guidelines, postseason arrangements, all the intricate factors that govern business operations. However, the common discourse has narrowed to a basic story. Athletes seek higher pay. Owners resist providing it. And when players deem million-dollar proposals offensive, they contribute to that oversimplified story in a manner harming their standing. This is what the Players' Union ought to stress. The WNBA earned unprecedented income in 2024, and athletes merit a proportionate part of that expansion. Caitlin Clark singularly created hundreds of millions in financial effect, and her $76,000 wage is ridiculously unrelated to her worth. The league is growing to 3 new cities. This only occurs when a business thrives. Television agreements are being renegotiated at substantial stir. However, communication has instead turned aggressive. The What We OEOs shirts. Official comments labeling proposals insulting. Online media drives portraying this as athletes against proprietors, when truth's intricacy means owners aren't animated baddies amassing wealth. Numerous WNBA clubs continue to lose funds yearly. The entire organization functions with monetary backing from the NBA. The commercial structure is improving, yet it's not sustainable at the level athletes are requesting. And then there is the Nafissa Collier and Breanna Stewart conflict of interest. It isn't a mere conspiracy to highlight their financial gain if the WNBA season fails to occur.
Own equity in it, they recruited players to it. If the WNBA locks
Canceling the 2025 season frees every star player for an unrivaled second season. The league standing soars. Media contracts improve. Funding from sponsors arrives. So when Collier and Stewart are at the negotiating table representing the Players Association, are they truly negotiating in good faith for a WNBA deal, or are they subconsciously or even consciously pushing for stances they know the league can't accept? This isn't an accusation. It presents a valid question about structural conflicts of interest. And the fact that the Players Association hasn't addressed it, hasn't acknowledged the image, suggests they either don't see the issue or don't care. Neither outcome is investor. A buyback creates another level of intricacy. If hindering an agreement indicates the talks aren't actually just between players and owners. Instead, it involves players, owners, and an outside group with fiscal aims not shared by either side. These financiers desired their investments return. They wish for the league's lasting growth. They oppose endorsing a CBA that binds the league to salary models it cannot sustain, as that imperils their equity value. Hence, they are exerting subtle influence backstage to hold the agreement in bounds. Limits. Yet if Engelbert acquires them, she eliminates their veto power. The bargaining gets simpler. League members only, no external meddling. The difficulty is cost. Getting back $6
at current valuation could cost hundreds of millions. Money.
Securing cash flow means either acquiring debt, persuading the NBA to offer greater financial backing, or locating new investors ready to participate under different arrangements. Such measures invariably consume time which the league cannot afford if a 2025 season is to commence as planned in May. Consequently, this is our present state. Under 4 months remain before the scheduled season begins. CBA deal absent. League players remain widely divided on fundamental matters. External investors could potentially impede agreement. Commissioner exploring costly buyouts to entirely sidestep this. to squander the drive of the greatest WNBA season ever. And the tragic part, the players possess valid grievances. Worth they create. Caitlin Clark earning $76,000 while generating hundreds of millions in revenue is truly preposterous. The league's income distribution system clearly needs changes. Player pay limits ought to rise as the league expands. All of that holds true, yet the manner the message gets conveyed, the language chosen, the public image formed, it's weakening the legitimate points. It's converting possible supporters into doubters. It's allowing indifferent viewers a reason to disengage. Rebecca Lobo understands it. She's attempting to alert them. However, if the players' union heeds, if they modify their strategy, if they acknowledge the harm happening to public goodwill, that is yet unknown. Because at this moment, time is running out. Each day without an agreement brings them nearer to a lockout, nearer to games called off, nearer to forfeiting all they constructed this past year. Therefore, the issue isn't if players merit higher pay, they absolutely do. The question is if they're prepared to bargain sincerely, offer sensible concessions, and secure an agreement that permits the 2021. Because if they aren't, if they prefer to insist on ideal conditions and chance canceling the whole season, then they're jeopardizing the league's destiny. And that's a wager that even Aliyah Boston, despite her honors and ability, ought not to make. What do you think? Are the players right to label $1 million proposal insulting, or are they pushing too far and jeopardizing the whole season? Share your thoughts below, click that subscribe button, and we'll discover if there's even a 2025 WNBA season.